There are a lot of people I don't understand. Women, of course, that goes without saying. Most men, too. Myself, like I said, a lot. One group of people I really do not understand are the ones who go to the national political conventions. The delegates. I mean, it's 2012. We all know that these national political conventions are completely meaningless. Huge, empty shows. A tremendous waste of time, energy, money, everything. It's sort of like the Super Bowl without playing the game. A sunrise is more exciting and by far more significant. The network stopped televising the conventions long ago. They still televise the Miss USA contest, but they stopped televising the national political conventions, and they're not going to start up again unless the politicians can find some way to work in the beautiful young women in bathing suits. Of course, the politicians have the beautiful young women and young men, but they're not parading them out in public. The networks, and the cable channels as well, stopped televising the national political conventions because they went on far too long. They went on for days, and they were unbelievably boring. Nothing happened. People made speeches. It went on for hours and hours. Reruns of Gomer Pyle and the Golden Girls were more entertaining, even if you'd seen the episode before. Viewers who thought it was their patriotic duty to watch the entire thing lapsed into comas. They choked on their own drool. Circulation to their legs was cut off, and they became paralyzed in their recliners. Fearing potential lawsuits, they don't televise these things anymore, but the delegates still go. Why? It's not like they decide anything at these conventions. Everything has already been decided before anybody goes to the convention. The candidates have locked up the nominations. The planks in the party's platform have all been nailed down. There isn't going to be any debate or suspense or surprises. Nothing is going to happen. People are going to make speeches. Why go? Conventions are so conventional. That's what they are. Why go? It wasn't always this way. It used to be that they would call the roll of states at the convention, and they'd keep count of who had how many votes, and there were several candidates in the race, and they'd split the votes. Nobody had to win, so they'd caucus, they'd wheel and deal behind closed doors. Then they'd take another vote and another, and you had backroom deals, you had smoke-filled rooms, you had booze and sex and all kinds of craziness going on, and all of this was a vital part of the great democratic engine. It was exciting, it was dramatic, it was historical, and it was suspenseful. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Anything could happen. I mean, it was wide open. They'd call the roll of the states and somebody would cry, "Madam Chairman, the great state of Louisiana proudly casted 6 electoral votes for its favorite son, Louis St. Pierre." And suddenly, old Louis was in the hunt. Or a state could split its vote. You could vote for anybody you wanted. If you wanted to, you could vote for Mother Teresa. She was dead. She wasn't an American citizen. It didn't matter. You could vote for her if you wanted. That was when the delegates made the show. And at the end of a long night of voting, somebody would finally emerge victorious, and the whole place went nuts. The band played, the balloons fell, and everybody in the place was dancing, laughing, crying, screaming, hugging, cheering. Now the delegates are tourists. They're people on a week-long vacation. They hope they're in Miami. They pray they're not in Bismarck. What kind of a stupid son of a bitch would book this thing in Bismarck? They're tourists wearing a little pin and maybe a plastic straw hat. They have absolutely nothing to do and a whole week to do it in. My God, it's only Tuesday. What have we got tonight? The Vice President? The First Lady? No, a couple of governors and a congressman. When it's over, they still make a big show. They drop the balloons and the band plays "Happy Days Are Here Again." Does anyone believe this? It used to be that you were cynical if you didn't think happy days were here again. Now it's the cynics who play the song. They throw it out there and expect the delegates to lap it up and go crazy. And they do. They do. Why? Who are these people? My best guess is they keep them sheltered in big buildings, bigger than airplane hangars. Or maybe they're in the proverbial cave. Maybe that cave isn't proverbial. Maybe it's real. And they're underground. They keep them secluded, isolated. And then they get up and make an announcement. They say, "Okay, delegates, it's that time again. Are you ready? We're going to have another convention." And they let them out. And the delegates are so incredibly overjoyed at being released that they go crazy for a week, even though nothing apparently is going on. Even if they're in Bismarck. They're so happy to be out of that cave, they're ready to cheer over anything. All those people making all those speeches, and they shout and applaud. When it's over, they're taken back to the cave for another 4 years. That's the only explanation I have.